think we're recording.
All right, welcome to Little Less Than Random. This is the last episode of 2019. I'm here.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, So if you don't know us already, I'm Jason. This is Andrew.
Yeah.
Well, last episode of 2019, but we promise you there's more to come. You know, our content is kind of here and there. But
I've been trying to do
somewhere.
if we could do one a month, I think I'd be pretty happy.
One a month? Yeah, sure, we can go for one. Or twice a month would be great too.
I think so, yeah. A little more than one a month.
Yeah, so maybe we'll take this last episode and just talk about things that happened
Holidays.
this year. You know, the holiday anxiety, the year-end review. You know, just reflect on what happened in 2019.
What happened?
Like our personal, just like personal stuff and current events and stuff. You know.
Like impeachment?
Yeah, like the whole impeachment thing. I mean, it was bound to happen.
Well, let's figure out. So yeah, we're taping.
Sure, let's call it broadcasting.
Recording. We're recording this kind of in a few hours that we have free. So I'm actually a little bit sick. So if you hear me coughing and stuff, that's why. But let's come up with a list of or an order of things that we want to touch on. You want to start with holiday anxiety?
Sure, let's talk about that because I think we all just came from that. And I think a lot of us are relieved over the fact that, we're done overspending.
Done overspending?
I mean, for those who have been excessive, then...
Yeah. Well, for people who've watched more of my channel, we can link to it. I have a whole video where I'm kind of anti-gift giving. I really just don't see the purpose of it.
No, I understand. I'm a bit frugal, but I try to, give everyone a gift. Or at least someone in my life that's been meaningful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
It's always hard, though, because... So, can I say what my thing against gift giving is? So, I think that there are really good times and good opportunities for gift giving. So, when I think of I think the ideal person to give a gift to is somebody like my brother, who's 10 years younger than I am, who doesn't have a lot of money, who, I really can give him something that he wouldn't just be able to go out and buy by himself. And when I do give my brother gifts, usually I pay for his NAMM ticket because it's always around this time of year that we go to this music convention. But it's usually money because I know that he can figure out what best to buy himself, and that young people generally can use money. But otherwise, let's say it's Christmas. I give you a $50 gift card to Amazon, and you give me a $50 gift card to Amazon. I just see that as silly.
But what are the chances of both of each other giving the same gift for the same amount?
Well, see, that's the thing is that there are kind of those numbers, like not close friends. You give them like Starbucks.
So you're pretty much giving yourself your own gift.
Yeah, and to me it feels like the person that benefits is Jeff Bezos.
Of course.
And there's oftentimes there's a transaction fee when you buy gift cards, and so. Then the store makes a profit off of it. The packaging companies, they get a card. The card companies make some profit off of it. What if we just and you've done so many nice things and so many nice favors for me as a friend. What if I said, guess what, Jason? You don't have to give me a gift to be my friend, and the reverse were true. And I just think that would be a better way to go about it. When I'm in Mexico, we just eat. We have a family dinner. We exchange stories, we have fun. Sometimes there's a piñata, and maybe some fireworks or something, and that's fun. But the commercial aspect of it, I've always been a little cynical of it.
Yeah,
am I Scrooge McDuck? What do you think?
No, you're just a frugal guy. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, do you give every one of your friends something?
Most of my friends, though, if I think of a lot of my close friends, we've never given each other a gift. And I think it's because we all came around that 2006, 2009 era. We became adults, turned 18 and got our first jobs around that time. And gas was, just around $5 a gallon. And minimum wage was $7.25, $7.50 around that time. And so because we, as kind of the end of the millennial generation, were just poor growing up, I think that we never saw gift giving as important. Like when I show up to some of my friends' birthday parties, bring food. Sometimes we bring a wine. Rarely will we ever bring a gift, and the reverse is true.
Which is understandable. I mean, not because you dislike the person any less, or like them any less. I'm saying,
No, I think we all just saw the gift giving thing. As
also, was it
silly.
just you who thinks that?
No, I don't think it's just me. I think that it just feels, I don't know, needed.
Well, especially with harsh economic times and
You've heard of the anchoring effect?
angering. No, never heard of it.
Okay, so anchoring effect is a cognitive bias where people go by the first thing they hear and they see that as sort of the starting point. And so, like, let's say you're buying something and you really like this shirt and you find out it's normally $50, but today you can get the first one for $45 and you get the second one for $25. You think you're getting this great deal, but either way, the company's still getting a profit, just selling more shirts.
Is it kind of like the same thing as like? How did the example go? Okay, there's $200 shoes, right?
Yeah, I think I've used this example too before. Yeah.
No one buys it, but if you put on a sign that says they were originally $400 and you're saving $200,
Yeah, it's like when
then people are gonna buy them.
Exactly. It's like when you go to Kohl's and there's 100% of the time always a sale going because there's always
They
a
just
sale.
mark up the prices to make it seem like they're marking them down.
Exactly.
Or so
Yeah.
whatever the thing
Yeah.
is, like you
Well,
mark them up just to false hopes that you
Yeah.
thought
So
they were marked.
the reason I mention it is that I have this belief that people's first jobs, that's sort of where they start their negotiations when they enter into new jobs or look for new jobs for their salary, where they should start. So like if employers ask, oh, what are you looking to make? Most people are basing it off of their first job or their previous job. They just want to make more. Doesn't matter how much more, just a little bit more. But it could be that they should be making twice as much as that. And so how people kind of value themselves and their time. Anyways, this ended up becoming this long thing. But I feel like my generation, because we grew up in this time where we would have killed for a job, there were no jobs.
I think a lot of it has to do with self-entitlement when it comes to gift giving. Like,
oh, yeah,
think
you owe me a gift.
I mean, I kind of have to.
Like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
someone's like, oh, you're my friend.
I'm
You owe
here.
me a gift.
Yeah. Well, the gift is, I'm what the friend you see the most out of what every other friend you have.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
who's the
probably.
friend that comes more often to your place?
Comes to my, probably you.
Oh, I don't know.
trying to-
Maybe that justifies the gift giving.
Oh, I'm sure there's something to that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure people give gifts to friends they see more and relatives they're closer to. Like, you probably give you give your siblings more than you give, and your parents more than you give your grandparents. Probably, and more than your uncles, and just some evolutionary reasons why that might be true.
Oh yeah. So with that being said, how was Christmas aside from your views on gift giving?
Aside from getting sick, it was pretty good. But being sick always has its
Oh,
downside.
who hasn't been sick, especially when you're binge eating during Christmas?
Right in Christmas. Well, I got it's like a flu or something. But can I say something that's
Yeah,
really
go
interesting
ahead.
from
Yeah.
an evolutionary standpoint in gift giving?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask you some questions and see if you get it.
Sure.
All right. So if you had an identical twin, you would have 100% of the same genes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be exactly you. And so from an evolutionary standpoint, you should be almost perfectly altruistic to your identical twin. You should really care about their well-being. Now, if you have a sibling, they're 50% your genes. Now, so parents, they have 50%, their kids are 50% their genes. So they have a lot of interest in their kids. But mothers have more interest in their kids because of what's called parental uncertainty. Mothers always know their kids are theirs. Fathers, however, can't be 100% certain. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so fathers give less gifts than their mothers in terms of parental investment. That's also true of grandparents. And so if you go on the mom's side, your grandma on your mom's side, therefore, in most instances, will gift you more. And so they've ran this experiment, and it turns out to be true that they'll actually give you more value or spend more money or pay more or give more towards college tuition. And
And this is why.
and then the grandpa, he's got 1 degree of parental uncertainty. So
From the
he knows-
maternal side?
From the maternal side,
Okay.
because he doesn't know that his daughter is his necessarily, but he does know that his grandchild is his daughter's, if that makes sense. So it's just 1 degree. But on the dad's side, that would be perfectly equal
So
to
you're saying there's
the
a doubt that
mom on the
There's a
dad's side.
small percent of doubt, like
Yeah,
that
exactly.
I might not be his son, therefore you might not give me anything at all.
Well, so the person who's going to gift you the least is going to be your grandpa on your dad's side.
Well, it makes sense because he's from Mexico and doesn't speak
No,
English.
not that reason. But you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
well,
but I see what you're saying though.
But well, with all things being equal, like of course you're going to be closer to a grandparent that lives closer in proximity. But all other things equal, they ran this experiment over a large number of people. I'll have to look for it and then link it. I learned it from Gad Sad's The Consuming Instinct.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting, right?
Yeah. It seems interesting, yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, no wonder my grandma from my mom's side always gives me something compared to everyone else.
Well, yeah. So there's an evolutionary explanation for that.
Yeah, so maybe I gotta look more into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in terms of just the holidays, like the Christmas and stuff, I guess when you're really festive, you just let yourself go and you don't know.
Oh, because of the eating?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you eat?
Well, you know, typical of every Mexican family: tamales, birria, enchiladas. Okay, so this is how it went with me and my girlfriend. Hi, Laura. We both went to we went to her mom's first Christmas Eve day to her place, and then after that we went to my grandma's, and then back to her mom's. Then the next day we go back to her mom's again, and then to my mom.
So you ate every single time you went.
So we went 3 times to her mom's, but once each time to my grandma and my mom.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Laura. I mean, I guess you really love your mom. I do too. But no, that's not the point. The point was that we were just everywhere. I kind of like not saw my dad. Yeah, going back to what you were saying about the whole dad thing. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe I was like, Dad is not going to give me anything for Christmas. I don't think he's gotten anything for Christmas for like...
You only visit them if they're going to give you something? It's a joke. It's a joke.
Well, I think now that he has a girlfriend, I think the girlfriend's like, you know what? You should give your son something. I'm like...
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I don't know. Again, I'm anti-gift. So if he gives you a $25 gift card to Starbucks and you give him a $25 gift card to Starbucks, well then who won? What is the name of the Starbucks owner? I actually forgot his name.
I don't know. That's besides the point.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think he likes Starbucks. I think
It was just an example I was trying to give.
Yeah.
I was trying to give.
So, if anything, I usually give him like Home Depot, but now he's with the woman.
Home Depot is an awesome gift because it's almost like giving cash.
Yeah.
Because you know they're going to use it.
And he's a handyman.
Yeah.
But now he has his woman, so I was like, I'll just pay them for their dinner, for their gift card.
So, have you ever gotten a bad gift?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
see, that's the other reverse of that is that with gift giving is that people can put a lot, it takes a lot of energy to think of what to get somebody. So you think of all that time people spend and you think of all the energy put into it just from a climate change standpoint. So it's, the gifts are shipped from somewhere. Oftentimes they're just cheap gifts that nobody actually wants. But that are shipped because people feel like they are obligated to give gifts to some people. It just seems to me to be a waste. That's why I'm anti-gift giving.
Yeah, you know what was the worst gift I got? And a bucket of licorice.
Oh, and you
Literally.
hate licorice?
It's okay. I
Do you think it's wrong to read
think it's like
what
a
if
novelty.
somebody loves licorice?
Yeah, I guess I'm not the one who's like licorice. Like I can eat a licorice, but am I gonna like eat a whole tub of it? No.
But so what I was saying is, does that make it wrong? Let's say you find somebody who loves licorice.
Yeah.
And you think,
But
what if I
I'm
give
not
them
that,
some licorice?
But I'm not that guy that likes licorice.
Okay, but I'm saying somebody else. You don't like licorice, but you have a friend who loves it.
Like,
Not me. I'm just saying somebody.
Yeah,
loves
like if they're like 100% without a shadow of a doubt,
it. They like licorice.
they like licorice. They can't stop talking about it.
Is it wrong to regift? How do you feel about regifting?
Regifting?
Yeah.
Do people actually do that?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So
they
you
do.
give the gift I gift you?
I would regift.
Don't worry, I will never regift what you gave me.
I think that it makes sense potentially, depending what it is. If somebody really, well, yeah. Now I got to think about it. If somebody really
Because
likes
what if they
something,
regifted the regift and then they regifted to someone else that was going to regift?
I know that ends up being
It's like an
somebody
endless cycle of
ends a
regifting.
cycle, and then somebody ends up with the.
I mean, it has to be like the worst present ever.
No, it doesn't have to be. It just has to be something that maybe doesn't work for you, but would work.
It has to be
great
someone who's
for
like a
somebody else.
licorice fanatic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like
Like-
somebody loves licorice and you just hate it.
I mean, I love chocolate. They could have given me chocolate for all I care, but licorice.
Yeah. Well, I've
Or
gotten
popcorn.
You know what? Sometimes it can be a bad present. It's a really nice present. And sometimes if somebody gives me a really expensive present and I know that maybe I know that they're going through some hard times or that they have to work really hard for their money, I feel bad if they give me a gift.
Yeah.
Like I feel almost embarrassed. I don't know. I feel very self-conscious. And so I actually really hate expensive presents. So
It's like me buying you goldfish, but now you have the
I know,
you
and
have
I
the
got
responsibility,
you, and I only give you a silver
and
fish.
you have to have the responsibility of buying the aquarium for it, buying the fish food for it.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of.
It was from Family Guy.
Oh, I never saw that. Yeah, that's funny though. Yeah, if somebody gives you something that requires a subscription.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, not subscriptions. Like it requires like some level of maintenance.
Yeah.
Like okay, here's this fish. Now you gotta take care of it.
They have to take care of
But
it.
you need to. But you need to give it all these things, which I did not include.
True. Well, there's a lot of things like that. Like if somebody gives you a PS4, but they didn't give you a 2K20.
Oh, that's all right because I don't play any basketball games.
Or if you give somebody a puppy, like that's got to be like one of the worst gifts. But
I mean, I think everyone
takes
loves
a lot of-
I don't think no one would mind
a puppy.
getting a puppy, but as long as they buy the stuff for said puppy.
No, because puppies are a ton of work. I mean,
More than a goldfish? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But they're lovable. You can work with the puppy.
Yeah. Well, what did somebody give me once that I felt bad? Like, I don't know. My sister gave me this really expensive KitchenAid mixer. And I actually felt bad after that.
Yeah, the KitchenAid mixer, you only
You've seen
just
it.
use that one time?
No, I use it here and there. But,
So like, oh, now I have to like make stuff, so otherwise my sisters will feel like I don't use it.
well, yeah, it's funny because there is that expectation. Like, okay, so what if somebody gives you a shirt and it's not your style? Or I gave you a hat. Actually, you had this hat that was kind of cool once. You stopped wearing it.
Which one?
There was like this hat. It's just a hat. It's
This is the one that I usually
not
wear?
a baseball cap. It was a nice,
It was like the
fancy.
Ivy League cap or something.
Yeah,
like that?
something like that. Yeah. I don't know how you describe them. There's a word for it. It's slipped in
Yeah,
my mind.
I don't know if that's what I think the ones I usually wear, yeah.
You used to wear them, but you don't wear them anymore. You used to.
I wore them recently. I just when my hair's shit, I just wear it.
Oh, okay. Well, so what I was saying was that somebody gives you a hat or something that some people would like, some people might look good in, but it's just not your style. What about that? Would you feel obligated to?
Then they obviously didn't know me at all to begin with.
Yeah, or maybe they did, but they just thought, oh, but he would look so good in this hat or whatever,
I'll do another joke from Family Guy. He's like, Peter gives Lois a sword. He's like, oh, it's a sword. Go ahead, try it on.
Oh, anyways.
Yeah.
So that was those are my thoughts on
But you know,
gifting.
you know, what could be the worst gift. Giving your mom a Nickelback CD,
Yeah, I know.
which I have.
Yeah, I've done that.
You got mad.
She kicked
Like,
you out of the
damn. Maybe I'm the reason why everyone hates Nickelback because I liked it.
house. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know anybody liked Nickelback.
Yeah, I don't know why the internet bashes on Nickelback, but I guess I'm the only one who likes Nickelback.
I think I'm probably getting them confused with somebody else.
You know, Nickelback, never made it as a wise man. No.
Oh yeah. Wait, who sang that first?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it that way. They sang it. They sang it. I think I triggered someone just because I mentioned Nickelback.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom.
Did you watch any Star Wars?
The Mandalorian?
Oh, there was something new though, right?
Or you mean The Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, that one.
Yes, I've seen Rise of Skywalker. It was all right.
I haven't seen it.
They said it was rushed.
Oh.
It was all right. I mean, Should we mention any spoilers?
No, because I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just curious.
Well, let's just say a certain character
Dies? Lives?
I mean, everyone,
Rises?
someone always dies on a Star Wars
Does a
movie.
Skywalker rise?
No, some original character comes back,
Oh.
and they were from the very beginning of since the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and this trilogy.
Huh. Well, that sounds interesting. Well, now maybe I want to see it. Did they get enough social justice angles in there?
Oh no! Now I'm starting to hear
no.
that social justice words all
No,
over
no,
that.
I'm just curious.
They turn on Star Wars now.
Well, I just feel like, given our political, I'm actually kind of trolling just right now, but given our political background, you can't make a movie without using that platform for a social justice goal. What is my cat doing?
Sniffing
Oh,
on that battery thing.
some battery thing? Oh, so,
But anyway, let's move on from all that.
I might,
Let's
yeah, I don't know.
let's
I'm
not
even sure.
bore.
Keep that in
Let's
there.
not bore our audience with gender issues and inequality. I mean, there's a podcast for that, I'm sure. I mean, we're trying.
Yeah, maybe we should save that for another podcast.
Maybe for another podcast. I don't know if you guys.
I want to
would be
bring Jeff
interested to listen
back to talk about that. He's got some interesting.
Sure, yeah.
Interesting.
So
concepts.
this is the year end of the year review of this year. So, a lot of up and downs happened in my life. So, I lost someone close to me, but at the same time, I've gotten something back.
Yeah.
So, it's been hard, but trying to see the positive side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I know he's always going to be there in my heart. So, with that being said, 2019 is just like a bittersweet year. Oh yeah, by the way, found out today that my cousin got pregnant. So,
And one of your cousins had a child
yeah,
too. So wow, that's a lot of new life, new beginnings.
yeah, end of something, beginning of something else. Cycle of life.
Mm-hmm.
The world keeps on spinning. Yeah. Brooklyn, huh?
Oh, that was the name of the
Yeah, I don't know.
of your new niece or nephew.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. Did they name it after a bridge?
No, it's an NBA team, Brooklyn Nets, right? They used to be called the New Jersey Nets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, congratulations to you, cousin. Cassie, yeah, name dropped. Wish you all the best and all the success. Please do something with your life. Don't be a stay-at-home mom.
Please what?
This isn't 1950s.
Wait, what did you say?
Please don't be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with stay-at-home moms, right?
Hey, as long as they're stay-at-home household husbands, trophy husbands, or whatever.
What about stay-at-home dads?
Well, yeah, they have to. That in that
Yeah,
case,
I want to
if
be
they
a
have-
stay-at-home dad.
Well, you
Stay
mean
with
take
my
care of your
cats.
cats?
Yeah.
I knew that's where you were going to get at. So any plans for the New Year's?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Well, I just started learning the bass, and I want to, be able to play reasonably well. I'd actually like to be able to play some songs with my friends. I've been getting pretty good at this song, Ain't No Sunshine, Bill Withers, and I've been practicing Come Together, which is by the Beatles. And
If anybody doesn't know that, then you're not musically inclined and they're uncultured.
well, remember when that happened when Paul McCartney played with who did he perform with? It wasn't Nickelback. It was some rapper.
Eminem?
From, no, I have no
Elton
idea.
John with Eminem? I remember.
No, it was somebody who's somewhat.
You said it
current.
was with Elton John, right?
It was with Elton John, and everybody was saying
Pretty
like,
sure it was with Eminem.
well, all the young people were saying, hey, this British guy is not bad. He should be famous.
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't Elton John. Oh man, I'm so bad.
Oh,
Not
you said it
Elton
was
John.
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney, yeah. Okay,
Do you want to play the game Who Dies Next Year?
No, I don't. I don't feel like. To me, that feels. I don't know. It feels like Deadpool when they would.
No,
bet
that's
to
why it's
see-
called Deadpool.
bet
That's
to
how
see who
Deadpool
would-
got his name.
Yeah, like they would bet to see who would die next.
Yeah.
There's actually I guess there's these groups on 4chan. I don't know what 4chan is. I've never actually been on this site.
Sure.
No, I really haven't. where people do that. They bet money on who's going to die. In fact, if I could recommend a book, there's a book that talks about this called What Money Can't Buy. Apparently, Walmart used to do something similar. They would pull out like these life insurance policies on their workers. And I guess it was kind of like a benefit because they would pay their family something, but it paled in comparison to what Walmart made, and so they were profiting off of their workers' deaths.
Yeah, and I work for them, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Those fucking bastards. Yeah,
I know, right? Yeah,
I fucking said it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So what did you like about this year? What do you think you've achieved this year?
Well, I got a lot of new experience on the job. I was working with a lot of our student employees. I've taught a lot of our new tutors, and so that was a definite plus. I started learning the bass. That's a definite plus. I guess I don't know. I need to look at some information, but I imagine the first couple years of marriage is probably the riskiest, and then after that, then they probably just feel kind of stuck with you. So I guess that's a plus. I love my cats. They're pretty fun. I think they're gonna be they're over 2, so surprising to have had them that long.
Same thing with my dog, Oscar. I think we have him for a decade now.
Wow,
For
that's
better
pretty
part
good.
than a decade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So everything's happened within a decade. Is there any movies you like from this decade?
I can't even tell what's from this decade and what's not
I can tell you.
these days.
I can tell you. Go and ask, and I'll tell you.
I don't know. You go first because I'm not as big of a movie fanatic as you are.
Well, Inception for sure. That came in 2010.
I don't think I've seen it.
The Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's
Dream Within a Dream
no. I don't. I vaguely know of this.
by Christopher Nolan.
I don't know who that is. I know he's a director or something.
And this is why we are an unlikely. We have this unlikely friendship.
Yeah.
One of us knows more stuff about other things the other
Movies,
doesn't.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really care.
Movies is not your forte, I get it.
No, I'm not
yeah.
that interested.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a good movie from 2010.
I mean, I think my favorite movies were from before.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for sure, and that came out this year.
What has Will Ferrell made this decade?
You mean that Sherlock Holmes movie?
That wasn't as good as The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, but that was like way in like 2006.
Yeah, that was, probably one of the best movies of all time. Step Brothers?
2008.
Oh, see,
I know this because I know
see.
some movies I know from certain years just
Yeah,
because stuff happened. Okay, what about books? Any books that you like from this decade?
Oh.
Everything that you read at school so far?
The thing is that when I finally read a book, it could have been published, decades ago. But this decade, I think Steven Pinker's Enlightenment Now is a really good book.
And can you enlighten the people? who don't
Enlighten
know that?
people on
Yeah.
He's basically saying, let's look at some data.
Well,
And
who is Steven Pinker, first of all?
Oh, Steven Pinker's a Harvard psychologist and a linguist. And he's gotten a lot of pushback from people for saying, look, we live in the best times to be alive. Things are getting better, and they don't get better just by hoping and crossing your fingers and by arguing with one another. Well, although arguing is part of it, they get better through reason, science, technology, humanism, advances in philosophy, moral philosophy, and just that societies have been getting better. We live in the best time to be alive, and that'll be true probably tomorrow, although it's not perfectly predictive. Climate change even might seem worse, but per capita, pollution, our carbon footprint is going down, and it's likely to head that direction.
How dare you? Reference to those who know that reference.
I know I put up Christmas lights this year, and I felt really bad. I felt like I needed to say that I was deeply sorry to Greta for that. And if you put up Christmas lights, same thing. How dare you? They better have been LEDs at least.
I think a lot of the stuff is LEDs now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, it's purely decorative and still advancing climate change.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go back to the accomplishments. Okay, so you've accomplished a lot with your musical endeavors.
Well, not a lot, but
Well,
it was fun. I did
I was
this
gonna-
thing, music club. I did
Oh, yeah,
this
music
music club thing, where we performed for some of the kids at for the end of the year, and that was actually pretty darn rewarding to do as much with music club. Music club finally got to do Club Rush because usually music club is composed of a lot of artistic, really cool, creative people, but we tend to always fall behind on some of the other things that the larger clubs were able to do to organize events, and that to me was much better than in previous years. And we actually got to participate in Halloween Valley and do some Christmas stuff and do a few things.
And you played music for little kids, right?
Yeah, and that actually was pretty rewarding. So that was a pretty good end to my year.
Yeah. And then me, keto. I know it's worked, but I really, really need to get back to it because the holidays can just fuck you over. So I know I've done it before. I could do it again, and this time I'll make it because I didn't know what keto was until like July or June of 2019. So now going into this new year, I want to actually be dedicated. As long as I apply focus, commitment, and sheer fucking will. Yes, I'm quoting John Wick.
Oh, I don't know this. Yeah, I think I saw that movie
Yeah, I mean,
with you.
oh yeah, that's a better part of this decade. The John Wick films.
They're pretty good. I mean, it's just hard for me to think of a good movie on the spot.
So okay, with that being said, yeah. So I really want to take my keto from day one all the way to 2021. See how much I can change in the span of 1 year. Like minimize, fast food eating, zero to little fast food eating, especially around the fucking holidays when everyone's making your favorite fucking food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, now you can cook more.
and then when you're hanging out with friends, you have like this feeling you gotta eat.
Feel like, yeah,
We gotta have taco night.
I do like the taco night.
Oh yeah, that was a better part of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check it out, guys. It's at Taylor's.
We should get
Taylor's Bar and Grill at
We should get some
Redlands.
sponsors for the podcast.
Yeah, I don't
For
think they're gonna pay us for the.
all 7 people who.
Yeah, they can
watch.
pay me in tacos.
I think.
But they do it quick because then I
yeah,
gotta start
I think,
dieting.
I think our first view got like 30 some views so far, and then our last one got like 8 or so, which is not all that good. But I haven't been doing the best I can to share them.
Yeah. I hope everyone does enjoy listening to this podcast. I haven't really shared as much as with people who I want to share to, other than my girlfriend.
Yeah, I've been afraid.
Maybe
of
my
cancel
brother,
culture.
but I've been scared. Like, okay, who's gonna listen to this, and are we just wasting our time doing this?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, well, maybe there are some days where we're probably on our game, and some days where we're
Yeah,
not.
exactly. And we still need to like develop, fine tune our
You were going to make
programming,
the logo,
our
right?
format. Yeah, that's gonna take some time. I don't know how much time, but when I have time.
Yeah,
and I'm
so-
starting school again.
Oh, that is a good thing.
No, that's a good thing.
When do you start?
Day after my birthday,
Oh,
January 7th.
so almost my birthday.
Yeah. Any plans?
No, not really. I feel like my bass. I've been really excited about this bass. I keep mentioning it over and over and over again, but I feel like my bass is a really cool gift. And,
Oh, where is it, by the way?
Well, it's right.
Okay.
It's right there.
I
Look
thought
at it
it's
right
been there. I thought it was just a prop.
No, that's a real bass, and it plays. It's a Squire jazz bass, which is not super expensive, but I've been pleasantly surprised, and it's been pretty easy to play. Well, going back to books, there's a book I want to read by this mathematician named Hannah Fry. She's got this book about technology and how we, kind of keep ourselves and remain human given all these algorithms and all these other things sort of making decisions for us. And another book I want to read is, I really want to finish Homicide, which is by Margot Wilson. And Oh, I can't even remember. Sorry, guys. My memory's just shot today. But it's called Homicide, and it's an evolutionary psychology book. If I could make a recommendation of what people should read, but it's not from this decade. It's another evolutionary psychology book.
Sure, what is it?
A Moral Animal by Robert Wright, which I have over here. Another book I read that I really love is Daniel Kahneman's Think Fast, Think Slow. That was hugely influential. I actually don't know when he wrote it, though, so I'd have to look at that. But I would say those. My intellectual thinking over this last decade, I feel, has come. It's taken me to a completely different perspective, completely different place.
Influential thinking.
Yeah, the stuff that's really changed how I see the world, and gives me some sympathy for those who see it differently, because it's so easy, especially when I learned about cognitive biases. Like we mentioned anchoring was one of them. When I learned more about that, I'm more aware of how other people come to either poor conclusions or just faulty conclusions. And so when I see people overreact, or when I see people take vastly different positions or get emotional, I can empathize with how they're getting there, because I used to come to many of the same conclusions. And
That was a mouthful, but yeah.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I can give you you want me to give you an example?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, this is a popular one. Okay, I'm probably gonna F it up, but a bat and a ball cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Oh, that was my cat. Sorry, I'll say it again. A bat and ball together cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Almost a number probably pops immediately into your head.
This is why I fucking hate math. Go ahead.
Okay, most people intuitively want to say 10 cents, but it's actually 5 cents. And so most people hear $1 more. They want to just subtract $1 from $1.10, and they get 10 cents. Most people get this problem wrong when you give it to them. And because it seems easy, most people will give you the quick answer. So that's from Daniel Kahneman's Think Fast, Think Slow. They don't actually do the math, but the math is pretty easy. It's $1 more, so you subtract $1, but you still have two items. It's $1 more. They forget the more part, and so you divide 10 by 2, and that leaves you with just 5 cents each.
Well, those must be some cheap ass shit.
Yeah. Well, stuff like that. Or here, I'll give you another one. You meet a guy named. Give me a name. Doesn't matter.
I don't know. John Smith.
Okay, you meet a guy named John Smith who's incredibly shy. Right?
Okay.
Incredibly shy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somebody asks you meet him at a party.
Yeah.
Somebody asks you, okay, if you had to guess, if you had to put a wager on this, would you bet that John Smith is a farmer? Well, it might depend on geographic location, but would you bet that they're a farmer or a librarian?
Based on what?
That they're really shy. You meet John Smith at a party. John Smith is incredibly shy and quiet. Stares at his shoes a lot.
Let me guess.
Like me.
It's never the obvious answer.
It's not that it's never the obvious answer. It's that most people get it wrong.
Well, I want to say librarian.
Yeah, because why?
Because librarians are quiet. Because that's the nature of their job.
Okay, exactly. But what people forget to do is they forget to think about, well, how many librarians are there compared to how many farmers are there?
There's more farmers than there are librarians.
Far more. And so even if there's a 70% increase in the likelihood that somebody who's shy would be a librarian, just out of
But how do
pure,
you know he's a farmer though?
it's not, you don't know, it's this probability. So the likelihood is far more likely that they're a farmer, just out of sheer number. But you just basically, you have to think about base rate. There are more instances in which they would be a farmer. They're just more farmers. It's just probability.
I mean, yeah. Someone has to field our crops and stuff. Yeah.
And so this is called Bayes' theorem. It's Bayesian thinking. And people forget to do it. And people do this all the time with with social justice. I'm going to go back to social justice. Well, I don't know if I'll keep the other part in. I might actually cut
Yeah.
it.
But let's not lose our audience, so you might want to
Well,
just.
maybe they're interested in social justice.
I mean, just with the whole math thing, I think we're talking about the whole
Oh
math.
no, I think this is cool, man. This is exactly why I want to do the podcast. Okay.
Okay.
So let me tell you
So
this.
remember, this is about the end of the year review.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So maybe that could be a discussion for some other time.
Yeah, well-
I hate to be that guy, but
well, all right.
because if we're gonna have a podcast, we gotta make sure they're engaged.
Oh,
Otherwise, they can go to,
interested in social justice.
Social justice. Oh, we can talk about social justice all the time. Social justice warriors,
Yeah.
the
Well,
plague of
no.
this decade.
No, like I don't think. Okay, well, see, what I was going to tell you was that they're doing the math wrong.
Okay,
That's basically.
so that's the long story
The
short.
long story short is if they actually use base. So a lot of times we're forgetting base rate, and if we did, it comes out to this. It's really this simple. Something can be statistically true, like it could be statistically true that librarians are more shy, but based on base rate, when you actually try to make any assumptions about individuals, you cannot use group identity to make assumptions about individuals because it gives you very poor answers. Very, very incredibly poor answers. And so you have to be very careful when you try to implement new strategies for trying to create more equity, etc. And so that was the long story short is that you have to be very careful.
Yeah, so here I was. I want to switch over to pro wrestling. That's the
Okay, what about pro wrestling?
That's anyway. No, the reason why I brought it was just 2019. This year alone, I've gone to a lot of wrestling events. I mean, that could be a podcast for another time.
You think you?
But
would,
no, let's go back to your math thing. Let's just talk about that.
Oh, you know what I did want to talk about? Actually, you reminded me. I don't know what the connection is of a different topic. Was Christmas as an atheist?
There you go. You could have mentioned that. Yeah, it's funny how an atheist likes to celebrate Christmas, huh,
Well,
Andrew?
No,
Andrew,
I don't think so at all.
Andrew the atheist, guys.
Oh yeah, I am the atheist of the two.
He's an open-minded atheist.
Are you an atheist?
No,
No. What are you?
I guess a Christian now.
Okay. Well, okay. So, but you, and it's totally okay if you do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in Santa Claus?
When I was a kid,
Okay, but you don't believe him in it anymore, right?
I believe he's still popular among children.
Okay, but do you believe that there's a bearded man who watches you when you're naked and makes sure that you don't do anything
There
naughty?
is. His name is God, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Okay, so you don't have to believe in Santa Claus to find as an adult to think that Christmas can still be really fun and to celebrate the traditions.
I mean, it is
There's-
a pagan holiday
there's-
after all.
Yeah, it's like after Yule, after all, right? So, so you don't need to believe in any superstition or anything supernatural to celebrate Christmas. It's more of a cultural thing, and it's more about enjoying family, liking lights. I mean, who doesn't like lights? I mean, you see some twinkling lights, and suddenly it's cool.
I think this podcast went all over the place.
Well, that's why it's a little less than random.
Yeah, that's why.
Random would have been random. This is worse. It's a notch lower.
Yeah. Maybe we'll change the title after all. I don't know.
Wow,
Want to do a poll? Should we keep the name? Should we not keep the name?
Yeah, just mention in the comments below. So
That's if you even know this video / podcast exists.
yeah, let's see. Well, it'll exist on my hard drive for sure, at least for some time. I don't know. We'll have to listen
Just
to it. And
cut
see
out like that 5-minute long-winded explanation of the whole math theory. Of
No, dude, that was the best. That's the best part. My idea is that, like, okay, when I listen to my best podcast, or like not my best, but the best podcast, I feel like I learned something.
Okay.
Like, have you heard of what's called edutainment?
Edutainment, like being edgy but entertaining at the same time.
No, being educated and entertained at the same time. But I guess you can be edgy too. You never heard of that? It's like,
I heard of edgy. Yeah.
it's almost like infotainment, but infotainment was kind of stolen from that thing that goes in
Yeah,
the
you
car.
try to make a portmanteau of the word. Yeah.
Yeah, so they so edutainment I guess is the next best choice that's available. Just throw it in the trash. It's okay.
Sorry, we like to munch chips as we're talking about stuff that kind of really just
Like kind of what?
could put half of our audience. Just no offense, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay, how about this? Let's wake everyone up. What does everyone think of Baby Yoda? There we go.
well, are we supposed to wait for their answer? What do you think? Baby
Well,
Yoda?
okay. If they're not saying anything, because they agree. But Baby Yoda's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of sad that there's not more Baby Yoda stuff out there.
Yeah, merchandising, yeah.
Yeah, like a plush toy or
Oh,
something.
yeah, there will.
Yeah,
Not to 2021.
yeah. Well, Baby Yoda captured that, like the infantile features, the round, round eyes, round shaped faces, right? So
Yeah, and that's how you get the appeal.
yeah.
What about, have you seen The Witcher?
The what?
Witcher?
No.
It's on Netflix. Check it out.
Oh, okay.
All right. As much as I hate to end this podcast, I wish we could say more about this year. But a lot has happened. And we can only move forward one day at a time. One day at a time without thinking too much about whatever Andrew said for the good 5 minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, what I would like to say at the end of this. It's so funny because we're also getting distracted by my cat who happens to be sitting on the top of my speaker right now.
You want to close out with any final thoughts?
Well, you know what? We might just have a disagreement about what the podcast goals are, and people should leave it in the comments. Like, do you like the math stuff? Do you like the my goal is to try to extend my teaching through the podcast in an entertaining way. Did it bore you? Did it entertain you?
Do you want this to be educational? Do you want this to be funny?
I want it to be funny.
Do you want it to be
and
raunchy? Do you want it to be
I want it to be
edgy?
funny and slightly entertaining. I do definitely want to have commentary that.
You gotta ask yourself, who's gonna be listening to this podcast?
Well,
One of your students?
probably so far the bulk of the listeners. In fact, that's actually interesting too.
I just want the average listener. I just want someone like me listening to
Well,
me.
that's why you should share the podcast, because right now probably the bulk of the listeners are my students, and so one of the things I always think is cool is when I see teachers who have podcasts with more listeners than their school has students, and so for me I would have to hit 10,000. But right now I have about as many podcast listeners as a classroom has students, which is 30.
Well, let's make that a new resolution just to
So if I could get two
expand our
classrooms would be
audience, our fan
Yeah.
base.
great. Yeah. Although YouTube's going to have to start paying me the classroom rate. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let's not talk about YouTube. That's a whole nother.
Oh, you're afraid of getting demonetized?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not actually monetized, unfortunately.
I mean, you can't say fuck. That's for sure.
We're not monetized, so it don't matter.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I wish I get paid every time I said the word fuck.
Yeah, or every time we said we need to get some sponsors. Every time we said the sponsor's name, we get some money.
Yeah.
Or every time they click on
Brought
a
to you
link,
by Carl's Jr.
every time they click on a link, they send us a percentage of the sale. I guess we should get those Amazon affiliate links or something going. Well, all right. So let's end it there.
Let's end it. Have a happy New Year.
Yeah, Feliz
Hope you had-
Navidad and Happy New Year and happy holidays.
We'll try to be just as entertaining. We'll be as much. No, we're going to be a whole lot more entertaining than we were past few episodes. And we still wanted to talk about
the
Terminator, which we haven't talked about.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because I've seen the movie Knives Out, which also has to do with the main protagonist also being a Latina woman.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, we
So-
still got to do that. Well, hopefully it'll come out soon. And
You know, it's already at the discount to go watch it.
Okay, I'll do that.
And you might want to get this out. So,
All right.
all right. Happy New Year. Have a
Happy
good
New
night.
Year. Okay.